I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. Today we're on the FM3 and I want to break down this FM3 stacked preset that I wrote, basically trying to cram as many cool blocks into one preset as I can. Hopefully along the way you'll pick up some little tips and tricks that you can incorporate into your own presets, whether you're on an FM3, an FM9 or an Axe-Fx 3. The core of this preset though is built around the USA Lead mid-gain amp model, my go-to greenback cabinet IR, which is available for free on Axchange, and the London Plate reverb with the mix set to about 20% and the time at 1.5 seconds. Now, the first three scenes here, I have used control switches to get three different gain levels out of this 1 amp channel. I will just show you off those first three scenes and the amount of gain, and then I'll show off how I did it. So there's a Les Paul Standard Premium Plus with some Martin A. Smith humbuckers in it. I'll start on the neck pickup. This first scene has the least amount of gain, and then we'll just add more and more gain to that until we get ridiculous and glorious. So they're the first three scenes, and what I've done here is I have attached a control switch to the input trim control here. I've used control switch number 2 so that the minimum amount is around 0.5. The input trim is just a flat gain control, so it's kind of like turning my guitar volume control down without any of the associated frequency loss. And then the maximum value I've set to 1.5, so it's like giving my guitar a boost. On control switch number 2, I've attached that to the input boost as a simple on-off switch and the fat switch, which is really important on these Mark series models. Then, using the control switch per scene section of the controllers menu here, you can see I have both of those off on the first scene. So no boost, input trim turned down, that's giving me less gain. The input trim goes to its higher value on scene 2, but the boost stays off, and then both switches are engaged on scene 3, which is why I had the most amount of gain happening there. So that's a really easy way to manage your gain levels. Alternatively, we could have attached a scene controller to the input trim here, and then under the controllers menu, say we use scene controller 1, I could set the exact amount of gain for all 8 scenes. I do have a separate video on that, but I personally like the control switches route because then I can assign control switches to the FM3 or an FC controller and turn them on and off independently of scenes. Okay, that's the basic thing, and I'll just run through each of the individual effects that I'm adding to this. We'll stay on the most gain scene because that's where I like to live. Let's start with this delay block. I'm using a dual delay here, and basically I've got an 8th note on one side, a quarter note on the other side, and I've got the cross feedback turned up with the master feedback turned down a little bit. This is going to give me a circular delay style effect, great for leads. Gorgeous stuff. I have a few alternatives on different channels for the delay. On channel B, I have this stereo BBD style delay, quarter note tempo with the left-right time ratio set to 75%. This is a darker analog style delay. It sounds like this. That is over the top and glorious. And then I have an ambient style delay over here on the third channel using the stereo mind guy. Maybe let's do this. Let's leave this one parked on the circular delay for that particular scene. I'm actually going to hit save there. That can be my lead scene. Let's go back to scene 1. I'm going to turn on this ambient style delay here. You'll notice that the left-right time ratio here is 61.6%, the golden ratio. This one should sound nice and clean and just kind of enjoyable for ambient stuff. I quite enjoy that. I might leave that parked there, but set off. I've also got two different reverbs in this particular preset that I can use. I've got the London Plate, which you've heard, and I've also got on channel B, the Chorus Hall, which is a much bigger, kind of more like, I would consider it like an 80s lexicon style reverb. Really, really big reverb right there. I love the way that one sounds. I love the way all of this sort of stuff sounds. It's almost redundant me saying that, but I love to say it because it sounds good. I've got a pitch block set up here. Two different modes here. One is using the dual chromatic for like an H3000 style detune. Let's hear that. That one is awesome with the more gain setting on there, and I'll show off the crystal echoes when we get to that particular scene there. This delay block I'm actually just using as a chorus, so the way I've set that up, really low delay time. I've gone for 9 milliseconds, that's just where it sounded good. A little bit of right post delay, and then in the modulation section I've set the rate, depth and waveform as well as the phase to where I want it to be for my chorus sound, and then I've just set the mix to about 40%, a little bit under 50%. This gives you a really nice wide lush chorus. Okay, the last block after the cab is the Plex Delay, which I'm using for just a really big ambient reverb. This one's great stacked with all those other blocks. We'll hear that in a scene on its own, but first, next, we'll take a look at scene 4, which is using the ring modulator. I've set the pitch tracking on and the frequency multiplier to 0.5 to give me a funky octave down style effect. I have used a low pass filter with the frequency modifier attached to the envelope follower, and I've got a phaser set to the Stripe 90 at stock settings, as well as that digital delay acting as a chorus. So let me turn the phaser and the filter off just so you can hear the octave style effect on its own. Then adding the filter. And what I've done there is I've just set the attack and the release a little bit higher than the stock values there to get that kind of squelchy sound. Then you add the phaser to all of that and it sounds like this. That one is addictive, believe me. That is such a great combo with that ring mod octaver, the filter, and the phaser. The next scene on here I've called Epic Lead, and I have that a kind of more gain setting, so the input boost fat switch and input trim are cranked on. I've got the big circular, no I don't, I have the stereo BBD on here. It's a little bit of a change, this is going to be nice, and I've got the chorus hall reverb with the dual detune, and this is ridiculous. On scene 6, I have the FAS Vibe as my phaser doing a wobbly thing. We've got that wonderful Plex Delay. We've got the circular style delay in the delay block. We have the crystal echoes in the pitch block. We've got the London plate reverb because I'm probably getting enough reverb from this Plex Delay block. And I'm using a volume block set to the auto swell feature. I've just turned the attack up to 150 milliseconds and the threshold down a little bit. This will let me play really, really wonderful single note swells without a volume pedal. Scene 7 is just a riff on that epic lead scene. I've got the D tune off, but I have the phaser set to the Stripe 90 and a chorus on, and I'm using the circular style delay in the delay block. Let's hear that one. And then to finish up, I've nearly got everything on in here. I've got another channel in the filter block, turning the gain down even more than before. We're on the less gain setup there with the input trim turned down and the boost off. But I just boosted a little bit of high end here with a shelving filter. Got the FAS Vibe. We have the delay acting as a chorus. We have the dual D tune. We have this big ambient style delay from the Plex Delay. We have the stereo mind guy doing that golden ratio style delay. And we have the chorus hall reverb on here. So before I play this, I'll just kind of say that I will share this preset on Exchange if you want to grab it for your Fractal device. Hopefully there's some useful tips and tricks in there, and also should demonstrate that you can get so much out of a single preset on the FM3. And remember, there's 512 preset slots on here. So if you can't cram everything into one preset, you can always do it across multiple presets using control switches, using scene controllers, modifiers, and just having a good working knowledge of what all the different effect types in each effect block do can really let you design some amazing presets. So I'll say thank you all so much for watching. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll play you all out with this nice sparkly clean scene on this preset. See you next Tuesday.